Welcome back. Our next section are things called diphthongal changes, which is really fun to say. Say diphthongal. Okay, don't say it so other people can hear you. 3 diphthongs. Diphthongs O, re, and u. O, re, and u. A diphthong is really just 2 vowel sounds smashed up against each other. So our first diphthong is O, which if you look at it, you're really saying 2 different vowels. You're saying O, O, oo, O, oo, O, O, O. We will now, with a British dialect, add in, so it's technically a triphthong, an at the front. Instead of saying O, you'd say O, O, oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. For British, for like a Cockney dialect, that will slightly tilt towards an a. Instead of saying oh, you say ow, ow, oh, oh. But we'll stay here in standard British land for a little bit longer before we move into Cockney. So words like so, don't, go, told, over, wholly, omit, most, moment, and tone would sound like so. So becomes so, don't becomes don't, go becomes go, told becomes told. Can you hear the sound at the beginning? Old. Over becomes over, over. It might help you when you start doing this to go to the beginnings of each of your words and find those O sounds or wherever the O sounds are and make a little, it's an upside down E or an upside down triangle. I don't know if you can see that with my fingers. But make those little symbols in there so you know that I'm going to start with an O, O. Over, wholly, omit, most, moment, tone. The sand trap of doing a dialect is sometimes a dialect can take over for the character, and we don't want that. That's why we're trying to work a little technically. So as soon as you get all these technical rules down, throw them out and try and make them a part of your regular speech. And don't let the dialect run your character for you. Next is the re. So just like in our last episode, the I sound at the end of the word, instead of saying ability, it was ability, ability. The re sound at the end of words like secretary, necessary, evolutionary, cemetery, laboratory, and I'll get to the British pronunciation of that, and satisfactory become the following: secretary, necessary, evolutionary, cemetery, laboratory, and satisfactory. So instead of saying ori, it's more of just a ri at the end of the word. Secretary becomes secretary. Make sense? This is the O for O. He was told to row over the river. 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 She did not know how she possessed the old and holy stone. She did not know how she possessed the old and holy stone. She did not know she possessed the old and holy stone. She did not know she possessed the old and holy stone. Don't omit to hold the most cones at the last moment. You're not only getting your dialect, but life lessons as well. Don't omit to hold the most cones at the last moment. Don't omit to hold the most cones at the last moment. Don't omit to hold the most cones at the last moment. This is the re for eri substitution. My secretary has not been revolutionary for the last half century. My secretary has not been revolutionary for the last half century. My secretary has not been revolutionary for the last half century. My secretary has not been revolutionary for the last half century. You'll also notice that I'm not saying bin, I'm saying bean. Bean for bin. Both are acceptable, but the more posh is bean. It is not necessary to go to the elementary conservatory. It is not necessary to go to the elementary conservatory. It is not necessary to go to the elementary observatory. It is not necessary to go to the elementary observatory. Moving on to my favorite, the liquid U. Like Tuesday becomes Tuesday. Words like duke, duplicity, new, Tuesday, duty, and student become duke, duplicity, new, Tuesday, duty, student. I swapped out the end of Tuesday. I'm going to do that again for you. Instead of saying Tuesday, you'd say Tuesday. Alright. The liquid U is really like a Y and a U. In the phonetic alphabet, it's written with a J and a U. So U. Put a little E in front. U. Words that we have in English that are automatically liquid are music. Music. Tune. Tuesday. Very posh. If you want to immediately raise the status of your character, put the liquid U in there. The new Duke came on Tuesday. 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 I would like to encourage you to use as much pitch as you can in these nonsense sentences so that when we go into actual dialogue, it comes a little more easy for you. The duplicity was due to the student's stupidity. 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 That's it. For reals this time, for diphthongal changes.